cheap pirate ship was. I just thought you will save $2 or $3, but it was like a lot.
Hey guys, welcome to Picksburgh. This is Anthony. You're joining us for ECOM and Beyond, the best morning show on the YouTubes. Thank you so much for being here. With me as always, we have my co-host, Nate. Every day I'm hustling. Rocking that sick beard today.
What's up?
Also rocking a sick beard, we have our special guest, Paul, Gate City Picker.
Hey, everybody.
Once again. Say what's up to a few people that are in chat. Sandollar is first one in here today, Nate. So my man gets a broski point.
Got
Tracy T's Flips, what's going on? Dustin Jacobs, good morning, my man. Got No Money G, what's up, Greg? Good to see you, man. Reseller Man, good morning. Who likes the thumbnail? I think I used the one with Mr. Burns in it. DC Sales, the master of the license plate, says, good morning, all. Ready for the best morning show on YouTube. Thank you so much, D. I really appreciate that. Got Hip Flippin' Mama in the house. What's up, Kelly? Christina Moore, good morning to you. Got Mac Man in the house. What's going on, Mac? Good to see you, bud. As per always, Mac Man. Good morning, Dana. Good to see you. Anyone else is with us, feel free to say hello. We will greet you.
Hey, Nate, it was 17, not 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds
more reasonable, right?
Yeah. I thought you had some secret
no.
Secret rate that I need to know about.
We were talking about pirate ship earlier, and I shipped something, and I told Nate the wrong price of what I shipped something for. So that's what that was all about. Nothing secret. There were secrets in the ECOM group, right?
Yep, there are definitely no secrets. You know what that
Except
was?
the Amazon Bolos.
Yeah.
You know what that was, Nate? That was one of these. It was a user error.
Okay. It's gonna be this type of party, huh? Let's gang up on the new guy.
That's what he got whenever he had his user error yesterday. VENDOO.
I was just sassing Nate.
I know.
Hey, speaking of which, VENDOO made your boy an affiliate yesterday, Nate. How do you feel about that? I am official. Hashtag VENDOO crew.
I mean, if you like Doodoo Brown, then you might as well click that link and
joining the VENDOO crew now. Though that does go to help the channel. So VENDOO's putting their money where their mouth is, Nate. They're standing behind the little guy.
I'll be impressed when they come on your show now.
Yeah, I'm excited for them to come on. I'm still waiting on the official date. So Nate runs and hides.
I hit the button by accident.
He's a skirt of the VENDOO.
Never scared. Like Bone Crusher. I ain't never scared.
Hey, thank you so much, Nick, man. I really appreciate you getting stuff off of us in the auction. I'm glad that you got everything. And good morning to you as well. Morning to Michelle Lathan. Thanks for being here. Got Jimmy, infamous stacker, in the house. See, MacMan knows where it's at. He says hashtag Doodoo Brown.
That was pretty fast for all the way to California.
I would never say VENDOO is poo-poo, Dana. Although I respect your poop emoji game.
We've seen hashtag VENDOO poo in the dumpster on Anthony's last video.
We did. Yep.
I've heard about that, but I haven't watched it yet. I've been a little swamped with stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Hey, we got a new crew, if you didn't notice. Hashtag Black Hat Glasses crew. And beard.
That's true. I probably got the weakest beard out of all of us. This is about as thick as mine gets without just looking like a straight bush of pubic hair.
You need to start putting a little bit of this on there. That's what you need to do.
Lion tamer.
Yeah, maybe.
Makes it all better.
Maybe I do.
I mean, economists do miracles, so we'll see.
Nate Macman wants to know if all them TVs behind you are talking about the coronavirus.
I don't think so. A lot of them just look like random backgrounds, and one has the world on it. So, nah, it's looking for new toys and different things for Amazon. That's what they're doing.
Yep. All right, Nate, it's official. Reseller Man wants that Mr. Burns update.
So the Tuesdays are probably going to be the best day, or one of the best days for Mr. Burns updates, because he
Get that update.
he ramps it up. Oh wait, switch out. Here, I'll give you the official update.
Are you putting up the Mr. Burns? There you go.
So Mr. Burns here, right? He brings me in his office. He's like, "Hey, we didn't have our performance meeting last week." I'm like, "Cool." Usually, I always hit my performance goals, no problem. So it's me, his boss. We're sitting there. And next thing you know, like, he goes through my numbers. Great, good job. Da da. So I'm like, okay, this should be about done, right? Not right. So he starts pulling out all these paperworks for stupidity things, like he gave me 3 write-ups in one day, from like one from 2 weeks ago, one's from a week ago, one's from like 3 weeks ago, and 2 of them stem from the same thing. So I guess I'll be in HR today fighting those. But yeah, Mr. Burns, our time clock, we have to, when we do different tasks, we have to punch in our time clock what we're doing so they can micromanage us. And the one I was using was broke, but I didn't know it. So
You okay there, Anthony?
Yeah,
You're
there's
a ghost?
kind of a moth or something down there.
Oh.
Flew into my head.
Thought maybe you heard a ghost.
No, just
whatever it was hashtag List Perfectly Crew.
yeah.
But yeah, that's basically what it was. They had a time clock busted, so for our punches for different tasks that we do, and he wrote me up because something was wrong with 2 of them or whatever, and then the other one was a paperwork error, which I might have messed up there. So, but I'll be seeing HR today.
That sucks.
Our write-ups aren't like as serious as like other jobs or whatever. They're like, you can get 7 of each category before they would even consider firing you, which I get every once in a blue moon. So, but to get 3 in one day, he was really like charged up, like excited for yesterday.
That sounds like a headhunter to me, like somebody just looking. You know what I mean?
That dude wants you full time more than you want to be full time.
He's a very
I was thinking the same thing, Anthony. Something like that makes you want to go full time quicker than.
Speaking of which, we had a new submission in regards to Nate's workplace the other day. Somebody sent me the safety poster. So that's a submission from Steven Scroggins.
I need that.
So thank you, Steven, if you're watching. Good morning to see who else is in here. Moronic Pest came in. Appreciate you being here. Nana Tink, good morning to you. Good morning to Veronica, the cherry picker, and to Cajun Reseller. I appreciate you guys coming in just in time for today's Mr. Burns update. That's like becoming a segment, Nate.
That's cool. I wouldn't mind having different segments on the show for certain things. It doesn't have to be Mr. Burns related, but it could be other stuff. So if you want to see certain segments, let us know either in the chat or on our Facebook group.
Mr. Burns is YouTube famous now.
No, he won't be YouTube famous till I get probably fired.
We got to get Nate to 1K so that we can get him to live stream his firing.
Me and him we argue. Like, it's one thing I'm surprised that would it goes down is like me and him just like, well, part of it's we're in a warehouse too, so it's like you can kind of have to yell if you need to. But
Yeah, for sure.
like, it was funny because, like I said about the one write up, I says, well, it's funny that you, there's all these issues with the time clock, because whenever I came in Monday, I told you about it because no one's there Friday, Sunday to fix it. And, Friday, Saturday, and then I came in Monday and told him about it, and he followed me and then replaced the keyboard. And then when I brought that up, he goes, "Oh, I didn't replace that." I says, "What? You didn't what?"
Good morning, Brittany. Appreciate you being here. For those of you who didn't know, she got them brands.
Don't tell anyone. Shh. Don't want nobody knowing you got them brown.
Yeah, Greg says the companies like that like to have something on you when it comes to firing or quitting, so they can have something negative for you for collecting unemployment benefits.
Right. Which that would definitely suck. That would ruin going full time. Like, I would love to say, hey, you're fired, then go collect unemployment. Then the whole going full time, even when I'm not ready, like say it happened today and I got unemployment,
Yeah,
I'd be okay because I'd have X amount of money coming in to at least cover bills, and then the rest of my money would go to just flipping. Business money can stay business, and the rest of the money can just stay personal. So
yeah,
but the thing that they have to realize, they're not just dealing with any average guy. This dude knows what he's talking about and has been through the process of unemployment and won versus good old Staples, which is not the biggest company, but they're pretty big. I feel like I held my own against their attorneys, and I won. And so I'm not afraid of my employer's smaller employees. Well, they might be bigger now since they got bought out, but we shall see.
Uh-oh, it's the best mustache on YouTube stopping in. What is going on, Larry Lafferty? Good to see you, my man. We still could have Larry on the show, too. Larry, hit me up. We'll get you on the show sometime soon, man. You've been to the Sandbox. What's going on, Lauren? Good to see you. Glad that you're able to make it.
Yeah, that's the one thing that stinks. Like up here, man. Like finding a good job, it pays. Even I think I make 22 an hour up here, which is good, really good for just a warehouse job. But most of the jobs are paying 15 or so. But the way that they're paying is they're trying to keep people and not have people leave for like the oil fields and stuff like that. So that's why they give us a little bit better rate. So like Cajun reseller says, like he got laid off for 6 weeks. When I got laid off, and it was really nice, took 4 months to find another job. That's what would stink if I would have to find another job that would kind of replace this. Like, then maybe I can go all kind of different routes. Maybe I go for something a little less pay, part-time, or I just keep going full-time until I can kind of get out where I'm going. So
MacMan wants to offer up a suggestion for your new boss to be Mr. Spacely from the Jetsons. I don't know if I know Mr. Spacely. I wasn't like a huge Jetson watcher growing up.
Jetson.
I mean, I watched a little Jetsons, but not enough to like know like the obscure characters.
I was going to say, what was the boss's name from the Flintstones? Mr. something or other.
Yeah, I can't remember that either. It's been so long since I've watched Flintstones or Jetsons or anything like that.
I'm looking at Mr.
What's up, Justin Perlette? Good to see you, man.
He doesn't look like that. Basically, this little chunky guy.
Yeah, Justin says the thing about unemployment is they want you to report all the money you make, even if it's just mowing the neighbor's lawn for $20. They deduct that from what they give you.
Well,
Mr. Slate was Fred's boss. Thanks, Scott.
That's not entirely true because, for example, I worked 2 jobs once. I worked for my dad for his company full time, and then I worked Staples part time. When I got fired from Staples, I was working both jobs at the same time. So whatever, it's replacing the income you lost versus, oh, we already have a job. Why are we paying you unemployment? I was normally getting that money. So what happens is they give you that difference from that job from the other one. You know what I mean? They don't look at my other job because my other job was paying me during that whole period anyway. So like with reselling, I have, like I'm doing my taxes now, for example, I have income showing from the last 4 quarters from the business and from personal. So, like I'll be able to easily have some, um, profits or whatever coming in from the business and not hurt me with my employment. I mean, my business / my work, they were pretty close, but one was probably say 60%, the other one was 40% of my income. So, I mean, it still holds a huge chunk of what money I had coming through the door. So if I would lose that, there's no way it would hurt me in any type of way.
Kent's asking if everyone got a 20% VENDOO commission program sent to them. Seems a little shady. I did. I registered for it.
I don't use it, so.
Paul's part of the
You highlighted Kelly's highlight thing about sending thank you cards and the feedback. That what she said, same thing too. Is we did that too. We did a little test, or not test, but we started sending cards with some feedback or with our packages, and we noticed a jump in our feedback. So, I mean, it's something as simple as like getting something printed from with that Vistaprint or some other print company. And I think people like to see a card when they get packages, and we saw a huge jump in our feedback.
Do you ever do that, Nate?
No, I might have to do that though. Either handwritten or just print something out and then sign my name or say thanks, so and so.
Yeah. That's what we did. We started with we print something on a 8x11 sheet in 4 squares, cut them up. We got a little paper cutter, and then we went to we got something from Vistaprint. I mean, it's this little bit bigger than a business card, but we printed up like 500 of them. And I think it was less than $10 or something like that. And it's just simple as throwing one of those in a package. And I think people, because it also, we say something on there about thanks for our package. Remember, we're a small business. Feedback helps us. Blah blah blah. So. But I think it's little things like that help you build your eBay stores, your feedbacks and things like that kind of go a long way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I gotta try something like that. Something that's not gonna cost a lot, but at the same time doesn't seem like a copy and print type thing. You know what I mean? Something where it has, like, say, the basics of what I want to say, and then I kind of freestyle the rest of it.
Yeah, just right there, kind of what John Jones just said right there. Just a simple, hey, thanks for your order. And it puts a human touch on it that I think people like.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for Amazon, it's so hard to get feedback on Amazon.
Right.
I've seen Cajun Reseller talk about he did that for Amazon, and it's really tough. You know what I mean? More or less, like, you'll get bad feedback for Amazon mispacking your stuff versus you getting good feedback. I get all those crossed through because I do FBA, luckily, and it's their mistake anyway. But yeah, it's a very slow sledding of a process. Like, I've sold thousands of items last year, and I got under 100.
Yeah, it's the same with Amazon. For me, it's like we rarely get. I don't think I've gotten feedback in probably 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I think I get like 2 a month or something. And out of those 2, those are the really good ones. I probably got 3 or 4. Or no, I'd probably gonna say maybe 1 or 2. Yeah, probably about 4 a month, but 2 are usually my item got crushed or something. It's all FBA. They're packing issues.
Yeah, I just had another FBA packing return today. It was on, well, I can't really give the product, but it was on one of the products that I showed you at the Dollar Tree the other day. And they, you know, the big one that I put back because the price tanked on it.
Yeah.
They put that in a bubble mailer, and it broke.
On Amazon, I just wish there was an option where, as the seller or the person who supplies the product, we could select only send my packages in boxes or something like that. And then, of course, there'd probably be a fee with that. But you know what? I'd be more than willing to pay that fee to make sure that, you know, that my packages or my product got to that customer.
Exactly. Because there's some things that they have to be packed right. You know what I mean? Like for example, like I packed something the other day, like it says it need bubble wrap. Well, I bubble wrapped it, and then I polybagged it and all that type of stuff. Then there was other stuff that was, you know, just had to be really finicky with that, you know, if it gets crushed, it's destroyed. So like I just bubble wrapped it and polybagged it. So instead of me having to do all that, it should be like you're saying, like, okay, well, if you for an extra 10 cents a unit or 20 cents a unit or whatever, we can put this in a box for you if it's going to make, you know, that big of a difference or whatever. Because they used to do that with a couple different things. I'm like, what are they doing? I'm just shaking my head like, what? It just tells you, like, you know, there's no like person behind the scenes like packing the stuff. It's all machines, and they just look at something at dimensions and this and go, well, this can go in a poly mailer. If it's anything that's like over a pound, for example, just should automatically just go in a box. You know what I mean? Like, unless it's like a big pack of bars of soap or something, which, you know, like it's, you know, like it shouldn't damage or whatever, because it's, you know, soap and, you know, that type of bars, they're really hard, so it's not going to break or whatever. But still, anything over like a pound should just automatically be put in a box.
I think that they should properly train these people on like how to properly pack things. I mean, because it's insane that they do this for a living and they don't understand how to do it already. I mean, we have one screw up when we do this. Like, we learn pretty quickly, okay, well, let's figure out how to pack this efficiently. And you think that they'd have some kind of packing training, you know, especially when you're going into that type of job where you're actually packing and shipping.
Oh, all their stuff's done by machine.
Oh, really? Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense then.
Yeah,
and I think it's for, you know, Amazon to whether it's UPS, FedEx, Postal Service, or whoever it is, they will take the loss on one item, on one damaged package, to make sure 19 packages get shipped correctly. Because, I mean, it's a numbers game for them. One package damaged out of 20, they're still in profit and they don't care. You know, and that's how I've always felt. Even from the time you buy it to the time it gets to your door, it's a numbers game for all the companies that handle that package. If they damage one, they'll eat the cost and they'll make the profit on the other 19.
Yeah, because I watched some type of video or something where, like, an item would get passed through, it automatically knew what type of box it needed, and it would, you know, pack it up. I can't remember what it was, but it was definitely, you know, at one of their facilities or whatever. Now, maybe during, you know, Christmas or whatever, maybe they have other people like kind of kicking in to help, like, get stuff out. But from what I understand, it's all done by machines.
That makes sense. Even DC Sales just said saving on labor is more than the loss in returns. That makes sense.
I mean, if you're buying a machine, for example, that, you know, it's going to run 24 hours a day, just pack, versus having a guy work, you know, let's say makes $12 or $15 an hour. I mean, that's just insane amounts of money that, you know, they would save over the course of, you know, that machine. And then once it's set up, I mean, they're built so pretty decent to the point where they might need some parts here and there, but a few parts isn't gonna, you know, make a difference compared to someone making, you know, 30, 50, you know, $100,000 for one person to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I want to say hi to a few people that have come in recently. What's up to Perlini? What's up, Lynn? Hey, old school picker. What's going on, Chris? Kent Daigle. What's up, my man?
What's that? Yeah, maybe later.
What's up to Glock 30 fan? Thanks for joining us. Rev Resell. He had a pretty good live stream last night, guys. If you haven't seen his stream from yesterday, go back and check that out. Good to see my man Rev live.
Yeah, I was right as I was about to leave work. I just looked at my phone and I'm like, where's live? And when I was on break earlier, I seen Old School Picker was live. So I was all over the place, hopping around, doing work on my breaks. That's usually what I do. I try to at least watch part of a video or just see what's going on with who's dropping what videos and stuff like that. Because I try to watch everybody, so this way I can, kind of know what's going on in the retail world.
Yeah. What's up to Matt, Phoenix Flippers, and Jonathan Roseberry? Thanks, guys, for joining us. So MacMan had a question for Paul a little while back, and I don't think we ever got to it, but he was asking what category do you like to sell in?
That's a two-part answer. The first part is I like to sell clothing, not because it's enjoyable, but because clothing has, that's what we essentially started our business on and what keeps our business going. Every time we think about let's cut back on clothing, we have $400 a week in clothing. So that's why I like it, is because that's what makes us the most money. It makes us tops out our sales. I like selling electronics and toys. Those are my two. I mean, because I think just toys make kids happy. Electronics makes adults happy. So somebody gets a new toy, gets a new electronic, they usually are happy. So essentially, if you're a retailer, it makes people happy. You get them a product and it works, and but that's why I like selling most, because that's usually good returns on the investment too, on those two products, toys and electronics.
MacMan wants to know if there's any more dumpster diving videos coming out. Nate still has one that he's going to be putting out. It's his half of the video we did the other day when we went on the quest to find Doo-Doo Brown. So his half of the video is still going to be released. We'll probably do more, I would think. I mean, I don't know. I had fun. Maybe next time we'll get like some gloves and a grabber and go to some like better locations. Like maybe we'll go to like Monroeville and hit up like the Alta and that kind of stuff, where there's just stores everywhere.
The only problem with dumpster diving for us is we usually meet in the beginning of the day, because Ashley usually, I believe she's off or she's working during that early part. So this way you're home with her, and I got kids and they got to go to bed at a certain hour. So best time of the dumpster dive is at the end of the night, because that's when people throw all their trash out. There's less people like getting your business, stuff like that. Less issues, let's just say.
Yeah.
So that would be like the only thing, that would hurt us moving forward if we're going to do those, unless we tried to do them later in the evening. Versus kind of, like we did it, like it was just starting to get dark, you know what I mean? So, what was I going to say? And then like we just decided, like spur of the moment, like let's do a dumpster diving video. So like we were not prepared in any fashion to have gloves or pickers or anything like that, because it was just literally like at the end of the night we're like, let's do a dumpster diving video, and we just did. So
we were literally just in Ross, and I was like, I've gotten some pretty good stuff from the dollar store dumpster out there in the past, and like I knew that it's been decent weather past few days, so I was like, let's give it a go. It's starting to get into like twilight or whatever, that time of day where the sun's just starting to go down. So figure why not. MacMan, thanks so much for dropping the links, man. I appreciate that.
I did dumpster diving years ago, but I was doing scrapping. Then I was looking for metal and stuff like that. Most of our dumpsters around here, and at least in where I'm at, they're sealed and locked, so it's kind of hard to get into.
Yeah, that's becoming more and more common. Like I even had to get a lock for the dumpster we had at our church because we'd have people in the neighborhood coming and dumping there. So a lot of people are doing that.
I got God, what's the name of that store? I think it's a Save a Lot and something else right down the road. They've got a cardboard dumpster, gold mine for boxes for us.
Yeah.
And then there's I found really good boxes at behind gyms. We got a Planet Fitness and a Gold's Gym. I mean, because a lot of that stuff that they ship is real heavy, and so they got those really thick 2-ply boxes.
Oh yeah,
good sources to find boxes at.
Yeah, I've definitely found some good boxes, behind businesses and stuff before too. I'm lucky in the sense to where my mom just gets them all straight from the hospital, and they're all like brand new looking. Like they're all basically just like they unpacked it and broke the box down. So I'm lucky in getting tons of free materials that way. But if you can find a good, clean, reputable place like that, it's always great to go there. Like I know Dollar General, like pretty much across the board, you can go there and ask them for boxes.
Yep.
They'll just give them to you. Like they don't care. But their boxes are normally on the smaller side. So
I once got one of those things that say, "Hey, can I have all those boxes?" There, yeah. The guy wheeled it out, and I threw them in the pickup truck, and I got them home. And then there's the ones that have the hole in the bottom of them. Where like when you fold it up, it's got the hole because there was like detergent or something like that in it. I ended up having to throw them all out.
Yeah.
The last time I was at Dollar General, I got boxes.
I've never dumpster dived for boxes before, but after watching or doing their dumpster diving video, usually they're separated, which I kind of figured most places would be or mostly have packing materials. So I would do it.
I mean, look at gyms, bookstores. They've got really, really good boxes because but those usually are a good place to find boxes.
Yeah. I want to say what's up to Georgina. Thanks for joining us, and to Glenn Swamp Picker. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it.
LSP's in the house too. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I think I said hi to Craig.
Did you?
Maybe I didn't. Sorry, Craig, if I missed you.
What up, Craig?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. MacMan says Craigslist Hunter goes dumpster diving for boxes. Yeah, I've seen even Cincinnati Picker does it. So and there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like there's some people that just won't because, they're either like germophobic or they might think that they're too good to like go in a dumpster. But I mean, there's a lot of people that are like a lot bigger than, most people that have no problem with doing it. So I guess it's just a to each their own type thing. I just did it because it looked fun. Watching like Kathy or, Treasure Hustlers or Jeebus and all them guys jumping through dumpsters. Look like a good time.
Yeah, I don't think I've done in the past just for the bare fact that I didn't have time to really go searching for them. You know what I mean? And most of the boxes I need are just like the bigger ones for Amazon. And sometimes I need like the double wall, boxes because I don't want any chance of the box just collapsing or anything like that.
Yeah.
Depending on how heavy or how big, the stuff is I have inside. So I think that's the only reason why I really haven't tried before. The only other thing I can think of would be because I lived such a crazy life before. Dumpster diving in a way makes me feel like I'm doing like something illegal, which as long as I look and make sure stuff's not marked or posted or locked, from what I understand, it's free game. So
it's like right there, Moronic Pest said that it's illegal in Chicago, or you have to get a license. I mean, here in my I think it's the whole state, to panhandle you have to have a license, and it costs like $50 to panhandle on the side of the road. So I think it's all part of the government gonna get theirs.
That's crazy.
It's crazy though that somebody like actually thought, hey, let's like make up a license for dumpster diving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine like who actually goes and like registers for the dumpster diving license? It's insane.
That's like when they started here, the big, you had to have a license to panhandle. And you have to have a license here for like panhandling. And if you like pass out flyers on the street, you collect donations at the, the stoplights and stuff like that. And the whole thing was just like, well, if a homeless guy is going to panhandle, he's got to panhandle first to be able to get the money to get the license.
Yeah, it's true.
So what do they do when you show up to get the panhandle? They ask you where you got the money from.
I think they just want the money.
Right.
MacMen wants to know what our thoughts are on the price gouging situation. I'm assuming he means like with the sanitizer, the masks, that type of stuff.
I thought about it, but then I never really. I think it's a temporary thing, so I didn't really want to go deep on products like that. I think with the people, because from what I understand, what happened with some Amazon sellers is that some states declared a state of emergency at really late at night, and then the very next day, Amazon suspended people's account. I think that was kind of unfair because you got to give that people an opportunity to make changes. And I hear a lot of opinions about price gouging, and it's capitalism, and if somebody's willing to pay it, there's going to be somebody willing to sell it. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. If the reason people buy boxes of masks for $400, the reason people sell boxes for $400 is because somebody's willing to buy it. And I don't really have it. If somebody has the money to pay for it and wants to buy it, it's not that I don't see an issue with it. I think it's I think what somebody else says, I'm not the morality police. So if you're not okay with it, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I basically feel like, it's something you want to do, then do it. You know what I mean? Like the market's set as it is. No one's forcing you to buy it. Some of the media and everything kind of help stir all that. And then they make a state of emergency as well, which, I don't know, it's just a weird, bad situation. And, for people that are in those states where it's really high, like having to pay that, it's better than not having a chance at it at all. You know what I mean? That's the way I kind of look at it. You know what I mean? Like, that goes for anything. Like, you look at, I don't even know. Just like anything, like clothes, Funkos. Anything. Like, it's all part of business. And
right. And this is the thing that with everything, I think no matter what item you sell, everybody wants to focus on, well, what's the value? I always find the value of an item is what, one, you're willing to sell it for, and two, what somebody's is willing to pay for it. When those two intersections cross, that's the value of an item.
right.
And so if, like I said, if somebody's willing to pay that much for a small bottle of hand sanitizer or a box of masks, then and then that's what it is. But again, I think it's temporary. It's all, I want to say, fake news, media hype, or anything like that. I think there is some issues with it, but with the coronavirus and all that. But I really think it's mass hysteria for no reason. Some people they're okay with capitalizing on that, and that's okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent with it as well. Like, I understand, like, if, for example, like California, if they're in a state of emergency, I understand, like, making products readily available in situations like that. But in other areas where it's like, obviously Corona is like a big thing everywhere, but where it's not as big a deal, like, I don't have a problem with people buying and selling stuff for more. It's kind of what we do on a daily basis. Now, I do think there should be a whole lot available for people that are in need, though. So, however that can be figured out, I mean, that's really up to. I would assume like the retailers and stuff like that. Like, maybe only X amount per person in those cities or places. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Right.
I don't know.
And I think it comes down to just like it's a hysteria, a temporary. It's not a life or death product to me.
Right.
If you listen to the people who actually know about them type of things, the masks don't do anything. And hand sanitizer doesn't do anything if you don't wash your hands in the first place. So I know some people that loaded up U-Hauls full of lumber and went to like hurricane-stricken areas and sold them lumber at huge markups. To me, that's price gouging because you're taking advantage of people in a very desperate situation. My feeling is that this whole virus thing, we are not in a desperate situation. There's not zombies rising out of the graves. So, it's not those are not life or death products.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Like even Kelly said there was no water bottles left. Like I've been seeing a lot of different shelves bare of stuff. Like it's pretty rare to find sanitizer and, masks and stuff like that in stores. But what I've seen, we still have most of the basic stuff. Like we're fine with toilet paper. No problem with like bottled waters or anything like that.
The thing I don't like is, when things get out of control to the part where we have control of what something sells for, it's a problem. But, if you look at like the insurances and the gas prices and everything else, like that could be looked at as like them price gouging us, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like how Paul, like what Paul said, like it's not like, you need to take this pill to survive type thing where, now I'm charging $1 million a pill or something where, I bought up all the last stock and now I get control of the world in the palm of my hands type situation. It's just something that's a preventative or supposed to be a preventative, but you can still prevent it other ways, just being cleanly and healthy and being, just making sure that you just wash yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's basically my thoughts on everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think our health and insurance stuff that we pay per month is insane. You know what I mean? Like what they charge for prescription drugs is insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy after all the craziness going on that gas prices go down. That kind of really like made me really confused. If anything, you would think gas prices would go up because of stuff like this. But in all reality, it went down, which kind of blew my mind. That didn't really make any sense to me. But because you think about it, if people aren't using gas because they're not traveling, they're hiding in the house or whatever, that's going to drive up the price because now they're, it's not being used as much and they're going to have to charge more money for it. So for it to go down 21% or whatever yesterday, I don't know what it's at today because I haven't watched any stock stuff. I just happened to watch it yesterday, waking up. My son had it on TV by accident, I guess. He had YouTube on and it closed the news station or whatever. And that's the only reason why I knew about some of that stuff yesterday for the most part. I just think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, my thing is I don't think eBay and Amazon really had that big of a problem with making the money off the stuff until probably we're under heat. Like, Amazon's selling it for this much, and they're probably just like, no, actually, it's third-party senders or sellers who are selling it at this much. So we're gonna step in and put a stop to it. And meanwhile, like they still made all that money off of it.
Like I could see, them coming in if something was. Like I saw one listing that they were charging inflated number on the item, then they were charging $199 on the shipping. Now that I could see them getting upset about because that would be ridiculous. There's no way it costs $199 to ship a mask. I don't care if it's overnight. It's not going to cost that much, but they should at least say, okay, well, we want the prices to be no higher than this. You know what I mean? Set a standard or a mark where you're able to help the others who can't get it. You're still making money.
Yeah.
But it's not so out of control. Like you're almost like they're regulating the market. Okay, set the market, set a standard. Okay, normally it's sold for this. Okay, we're gonna let you go up 25% from the normal comps of what this sold for the last year or 6 months.
Yeah.
Or
even if it's not like $100 or whatever, still let you sell for 20 or something like that. Like you make a little bit, they make a little bit. People still get their stuff without being completely gouged. Yeah.
Right. It almost turns into like a reverse wholesale type situation where we're the wholesalers and we're flipping it to the to the consumers or anybody that might need it or whatever. But I mean, for them to just pull the listings, now you're the people that are in desperate need of it or whatever are going bananas for it because they feel like they have to have it. You know what I mean? But like the whole thing of the state of emergency, like the only reason why some of these areas are getting they're calling state of emergency, they're having elevated issues or whatever, but they want some of that funding to kick in to try and get extra spending for the healthcare stuff or whatever to do the testing and so on and so forth.
Yeah, what Uncle B was asking about what makes it illegal, the state of emergency. What made it illegal is when some states declare a state of emergency, parts of that has to do with price gouging and how much above the average sell price can you sell something, and that's what quote unquote makes it illegal in those states. And I think I was watching the Beards channel, their chat, and same thing. There should be options within Amazon where you click and say, all right, well, don't sell to California right now. Don't sell to this state. Don't sell to that state. That way, if they do declare a state of emergency, you're not violating any laws or rules, because that's what ultimately was going to get Amazon and other sellers in trouble, is that there were price gougings to the states that had declared states of emergency. And I want to say California, I think it's 13%. You can't sell something over the 13% of whatever it's like the national average sales price or something like that.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me, some of the stuff, but it is what it is. It's their sandbox. We're just trying to play in it, I guess,
How's the reseller meetup planning going, guys?
It's going well. Yeah, I mean, everything's pretty much organized. We're just waiting to, see who is kind of like on the fence, who is going to come and who isn't going to come, So we're kind of just in that final planning stages of just trying to make accommodations for everybody. So I'm excited that you said that you're going to be coming with your wife. It's going to be pretty cool. Meet you guys. But yeah, everything's going well for the meetup. Haven't had too much feedback on it lately, though. Anybody have any feedback they'd like to share in regards to the meetup? What's been new with you since the last time you were on, Paul?
New with me?
You can get another broski point, Paul.
I did?
No, you can. Look, you see the question?
No, I'm sorry.
It says, when's the meetup?
Oh, April 17th, 18th, and 19th, correct?
Well, yeah, those are all dates. The main day is the 18th, so we'll give you a broski point for that. But the main day is the 18th, but we're going to be doing stuff the 16th through the 22nd.
That's right. I thought it was something
whole week. Yeah. So there is in our Facebook group. Let me go grab a link for it. In our Facebook group, we do have a complete itinerary for each day. So that way, if you're planning on coming, you can kind of see whatever time frame you want to be there, like what the majority of the group is going to be doing each day. So there's a lot of really cool things planned. We're going to be doing different fun activities every day, and then we're going to be doing different activities. Definitely come down and expect to, be able to make some money back on your trip. Nice. Greg's going to be here the 17th through the 19th. Looking forward to that. No Mac Man. Well, I mean, somebody's going to stay behind and make sure Gotham's okay.
Right.
So I just dropped a link here, guys. This is for our Facebook group. If you go, oh no, that's Mac Man. Let me see my link. Here's the link. Okay, so if you go there, you'll be able to join our group, and you'll see all the information. There's actually even an event in there. You can go on the event page. You can say if you're coming, if you're not coming. All that just helps us to make sure that basically you're accounted for as far as space, stuff like that.
I forgot to remind you to call thing yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going to call him right after this. I tried. That's why before we started, I muted my thing because I was trying to call, but they weren't open yet. So I'll call them as soon as we're done here.
Surprised they aren't open yet.
Well, yeah, they open at 10:45.
That makes
They're open. I think they're open at 8 o'clock here for breakfast.
Yeah, there are certain days here. I don't think it's every day though.
That's what I was thinking. I figured they would do some type of breakfast thing.
So what do I can't? I mean, nothing really the same. See, last weekend I went on a huge RA run. I mean, I spent close to $600, but I'm looking at almost after fees and all, almost about $8,000 in return. So
that's awesome, man.
Including this new I got this computer here at Staples. It's a $1,200 computer, Slasher's model. Got it for $400 on clearance.
Nice.
So bad part about getting a new computer is remembering all the passwords that were saved in your old one.
Yeah.
Do you use Chrome?
Yeah. A lot of that stuff transferred over, but some of the stuff didn't. But it's all right. A lot of the stuff for work didn't transfer over because I got all that super secretive stuff that So I got to take it in with me one day to work and transfer all the files and stuff over to it.
Yeah, I save everything in my in my computer or whatever, and I go on my phone. I'm like, and I got a new phone. I'm like, man, I forgot my password. So I totally didn't know what it was. So I had to go into, if you go in the settings, I think it is, you can bring up your password list. And you can go through and
most of that stuff's transferred over, but just like some small stuff, like sites that I only visit every once in a while or something like that didn't have the password saved or something like that.
Oh, okay. Amazon is killing me. I still haven't opened up my replenishable. I sent 6 cases of this stuff and not one box is open. Open up everything else. I don't understand that.
That makes no sense, man.
I called up there yesterday. I know they were basically going to tell me to kick rocks until like the 22nd or whatever, but I've called in there before, and then next it's like, oh, here it is. It was like it was like they just didn't like click it, or I don't know. It was like a minor error, and then it went through, but not for this one. So I opened up a case for them to look into it, and I did it through support or whatever, just manually instead of through the phone.
Yeah, I've got one I got to open up. I sent my 2 shipments ago. Sent a big shipment in. They lost one product, 19 of them, same product, all 19. Somehow they lost it. So wow. All 19. It's kind of like, how do you use 19 of the same products that are in the same box? So I got to open a case probably today. I'm going to give them till today to do it, just see if they pop up. I haven't checked my Amazon today, but how do you lose 19 of the same products? You checked in everything else in that box, but you missed, the same 19 of the same things. Come on.
Yeah. From what I understand, though, if they lose inventory like that, you're able to eventually just have them pay you for it. Just
Yeah,
as
that's
you sold
kind
it.
of what I'm gonna have to do, I think.
I started using Seller Bench, and they do take a percentage, but they don't do everything for this. But they'll keep track of your inventory, like, stuff that you had in there from 6 months or whatever. And there's been a couple items that just happened. They happened to lose that I got paid on just from using that. And also, they'll fight for certain returns that maybe I would forget or they didn't pay me for or whatever. So I've been using that. I think they charge 25% of what they get back. So it's not a subscription or anything like that, but it saved me some money for sure. Like I didn't use it till after close. It was close to my first year all the way in, and they saved me like almost $200 on money that, of stuff that I thought was sold or whatever, and it just being lost. And because I have a couple different replenishables that I have, and the one, I sell about 80 or so a month, and every once in a while they'll lose like four items of it or whatever. So I mean, it's basically just a way of safeguarding your inventory, because like with me, I have so many active SKUs, it's crazy. So
Right.
it's something I recommend people checking out if they do a lot of FBA or if they do have a lot of different items, especially one-offs.
You have a two-part question here from Lauren. She says, does that happen a lot with Amazon? Is the first question. And the second part is, do they reimburse you full retail?
For me, it doesn't happen with, a single item going missing like that. It's usually like if I send 19, they'll lose one or something like that. But as in like whole shipments or whole SKUs, I've never had them lose a whole SKU. And as far as I know, I think that Nate, don't they pay you on a percentage if they lose it? They don't pay you full retail. I think it's they pay you whatever you would made after their fee.
Yeah. So like, say you had a bottle of vape juice, and you can't sell this, but this is why I'm using it. Say it's normally $20, and then your fee, after fees, you make $7. They would pay you roughly that $7, unless it's something insane where, you like set it to $99 and they lost it, and then normally it's selling for $20. Then I believe they would give you what the highest thing.
Yeah, I think it's like an average price or something like that in cases like that.
Yeah, but it happens from time to time. You got to figure there's millions, not billions of items that are getting sent in and moved around and shipped, and there's robots and people, and there's breakage where I'm sure people happen to break something, they don't want to get in trouble, so it just magically disappears. So like that happens at my work too. Like I see people tossing stuff in the dumpster all the time because it's a broken case and they don't get written up for it or have to deal with Mr. Burns about it. So they'll do that or whatever. So I'm sure that happens there too. But yeah, I mean, I've had one time I sent in, I normally send in 200-300 items. I had like 5 or 6 items like just not show up. You do reconcile where they'll investigate, and then you just have to make sure you have your receipt or whatever showing proof that you actually bought these items. So it could be a store receipt or it could be an invoice from a wholesaler, and then you get paid for it. So yeah, it's part of the reason why you always need those receipts. And also, if someone would try to say it's not authentic, then you have them as well. So
yeah. So MacMan was asking Paul, what platforms do you sell on?
I sell on the tops, eBay, Amazon, Mercari, and I think those. Posh, sell a lot on Posh. I was I didn't really want to sell on Posh for a while, but she kind of forced me into it, and I'm really glad she did because we make a lot of money off of Posh. Then one that I'm getting ready to step up here is locally, and as soon as the weather turns, I'll probably go back to doing flea markets on Sundays. I got a container down there. I was down there yesterday trying to get stuff, reorganized, because over the summer or winter, I would go down there with a truckload and just toss it in there. So I was down there yesterday, kind of reorganizing some of that stuff.
I used to really enjoy the videos that you'd make down at the flea market. Those are always entertaining.
Yeah, my flea market's really weird. It's kind of segmented. It's got a upper portion and a lower portion, and I'm in the lower portion, and probably pay probably most in rent down there with and I'm actually the only one down there that has a storage container. Everybody else moved out, but when the attendance drops down, everybody goes up to the top portion. And I did a couple times over the summer, over the fall and winter. I'll load stuff up and go to the top, and I'll rent a table up there, still paying rent on the container, and then you pay the $10 fee to sell at a table. But when the summer weather turns, I'll be back out there. Start just doing Sundays, because garage sale days are on Saturday, Thursday, or Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sundays I'll just go down there and like I said, somebody asked me the other day about sourcing for the flea. I don't really source for the flea market. It's all kind of, I don't want to say bad buys, but just, bad buys. But then stuff returns, just kind of extra stuff that we have that's just not worth selling. We buy pallets and, overstock and stuff like that, and stuff that's not worth, selling, a $4 item on eBay is not really the ROI we're looking for. So we'll take it down to the flea market and sell it for $2 and make it, straight cash. So.
Sure.
But yeah, I'll get back to putting those, because those are some of the simplest ones. You just shoot footage, edit them together, and off you go.
And have you ever sold at the flea market before?
No. Our flea markets aren't really typically very good. There's a lot of people, but I don't know. They just don't seem to be very good, to be honest. Everybody wants like close to eBay prices. A lot of vendors.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Within I want to say a 30-minute radius of me, there are 4 places you can buy pallets for, and so everybody, that's where they all source from, and so you'll have 4 vendors all selling the same thing within $2 or $3 of each other. So you're really not, you're not really seeing a huge variety of things.
Yeah, dude, Nate, one Saturday, since you're off on Saturdays, coming up probably next month or two, you should hit up Trader Jack's with me. So out near Bridgeville.
Okay.
The flea market. We can go set up and sell crap we don't want.
I like one of the main reasons, of course, of selling at flea markets, but one of the main reasons I like doing flea markets is, man, the people watching is just excellent. It's so much fun. You get to see every type of person you can ever see. There's a guy who comes to ours, super nice guy. He buys from me all the time. He is in a 3-piece suit. He comes out and he's got this little cart that he pushes, but he walks around in a 3-piece suit, and he's just always dressed to the nines at the flea market. It's outdoor, rocks and dirt and gravel. He's got loafers on, or designer loafers on, in a 3-piece suit. He's one of my favorite guys. Every time I see him, he just looks it's in a different suit every time, and really nice. And then you got people show up in their pajamas.
Yeah, you definitely get a different crowd sometimes at the flea markets, that's for sure. I know the one I go to in Ohio is you get all kinds of different people coming out. But the nice thing about the flea market is it's like instantaneous cash. But the bad thing about the flea market is it's always considerably lower than what you would have gotten for the exact same item on eBay.
Right.
So
I don't mind putting toys with damaged packages on eBay, but when the package is completely ripped apart, I don't like selling that I don't like selling it in that condition. So I'll take it down there and sell it. So, and I don't mind, if it goes for, $15 on eBay. I don't mind selling it for $5 down there, just to the space. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's up, Jody? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I mean,
hey, with all the stuff, like I got this for Christmas. I got one of those square readers, so this is going to be I got one of those signs made up that says, accept credit card. So maybe that'll be a boost in business. I don't know how many people are comfortable using credit cards at flea market vendors, but we'll see.
Yeah, I have one of those too, and when I signed up for my bank account or whatever, they were talking about setting up something like that with like their card reader or whatever. So but I
offer it on my local sales when I put on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or the other offer up and all that. I'd say accepting credit cards or debit cards too, but nobody's using it. But but it was a Christmas gift, so I'll see what happens.
Yeah, I tend to find like a lot of times when faced with that option, whenever I'm outsourcing, sometimes I'd rather use my card just so I have more cash for.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of how I too, some of the other local, trade shows and things like that. If they offer cards, keep the cash. That way you run into that one thing and they only accept cash. You got enough.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's for sure, man. He says people watching it better than Walmart. Yeah, you can see some really entertaining situations if you really pay attention at the flea markets. That's what I'll do a lot of times because like I'm real like if you even walk past me and you connect eyes with me, I'm gonna pull you into my booth and sell you something. Even if you're not interested, I'll find a way to get you to buy something.
I do not purchase wholesale. I'm not there yet. I am waiting for. I think last time I was on the show, we were talked about. I'm trying to partner up with a couple local resellers too. Or well, I say it like I've talked to them. I'm trying to find people to rent a whole warehouse together. I just don't have the space to do wholesale here. I don't know. There's services where you can send the pallet to the people and they process it for you and all that. I haven't really looked into it that far. I'd much rather. Start off wholesale on my own, bring it in, ship it in type thing. But for how often do I do RA? Every opportunity I get, if I know I have to go grocery shopping or something like that, I will build in an extra hour to source just that, and then I'll do the grocery shopping.
I do the same thing. Like literally, no matter where I'm at, I'm scanning stuff.
Right. I found something. I found 34 of the same item at Goodwill the other day. They were 99 cents and they sell for $34 on Amazon. I could not believe it.
Wow.
Just the best RA find I've found at Goodwill. It was 99 cents into $34. After fees and all, but just randomly sitting on the shelf at Goodwill. It was like I couldn't believe they had 34 of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, with the wholesale that you're talking about, Paul, there's wholesale companies that you buy from. They'll actually send it right into Amazon for you. And a lot of the wholesale people that I've talked to, except for maybe one, they'll have like a minimum order $1,000 or something like that. The other ones usually don't have too much of a minimum order or any minimum order. So
right, yeah, there's definitely a plan to go there. It's just we're not quite there yet. We got a little, I want to say this kind of our working situations right now. I mean, I'm working full time. Wife is almost finished with school, and so it's just time right now to kind of look into things like that is kind of minimal right now. So it is definitely on the radar. I would hope. If you got I've took some business studies classes and things like that. We have a 5-year plan, and it's there. I think it's next year is when we're going to start trying to get into it. But right now we're just kind of, for the rest of this year, we're just going to try to maintain what we have. And then the ramp up will be next year after, she gets into a full-time job and we kind of figure out our schedules better.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like I grabbed my first one. I spent I spent a little more than I probably should have. I could have just spent 200, and then I'd have got engaged in a category, a brand, and like a theme of a brand or a type of, like a movie or whatever. You know what I mean? Like a movie title. And for example, like that helped my RA sourcing tenfold because
Yeah, it really did.
me and Anthony went shopping. He couldn't buy anything of this stuff, where I was able to buy it all, and I probably made like $400-500 just on, that small little sample size of a trip. So if you can get them engaged in a category, and by the only way the way you can check out is if you scan something. Let's say you're looking at, you get a wholesale, you just set it up, and you're just looking at stuff. You'll see like if it's like say a toy category and like Toy Story or something, then you begin engaging toys, Toy Story, and whatever that brand of that toy is, like if it's a Funko or whatever. So it's definitely worth just putting a small investment like with that, because it would just multiply your RA opportunities huge.
Yeah, definitely. 100% agree. That's one of the very next things I'm planning on doing is making sure I can put in a pretty sizable wholesale order.
I also want a warehouse to get some of this stuff out of my house. So I have a small warehouse out here in our backyard, about 900 square foot, but we filled that thing up pretty quickly.
You can't technically pay to get ungated, Lauren, but the way to get ungated is you get wholesale accounts, and most of the time they want you to buy at least 10 of the items that you're trying to get ungated for, and then you'll send in the paperwork that you get from the wholesale company to Amazon. Nate's done it, so he can probably tell you a little bit more about the process.
That's basically it. I mean, once that item either comes in stock or you put the pre-order in, like I did for mine, so just basically me waiting for it to come in.
Yeah,
you can actually copy your invoice if your company has that, where you can actually see the invoice or whatever, and then you can send that to Amazon, and then by the time that gets sent to you, then you can have the option of just sending it directly to Amazon or just send it back to yourself, and you can add in a shipment, or maybe you just don't want to send all that. So it gives you that opportunity. But what happens is, you just, you click on the item like you normally would, try to get engaged, and then it brings up that area for the photo, and then it might ask you for like stock photos of the product. So that would be, you would actually need the product right in front of you, so you could take pictures of all sides of it and everything. And then you just send it in, and it took me about a week to get, it to go through. For whatever reason, they must have had the contact, the company that I was using or whatever, and they must have been backlogged, or Amazon was backlogged, so it took a little longer than usual. But then I was ungated, so now I'm open up a whole nother category and like a theme of a type of product and a brand. So it was like a 3-for-1 deal, which was awesome. And you can do it with really a minimum investment, which, like I said, like with this last trip I just did, man, it was awesome. I got $500, easily, with just like 10 or 12 different items.
Yeah, you definitely did that wisely. Without saying, have either of you guys used StockX? I have not.
Now, is that just sneakers? I think.
I'm not sure.
I think I've heard of it, but I thought it was just sneakers and shoes.
Yeah, I think it's just shoes and maybe some like accessories. But I've downloaded it, but I've never sent it or used it or bought anything. It's I don't really look at shoes that much because I'm not engaged in Nike or anything. So, I mean, I look at it at Ross, but the Ross, there's no box, so that's no good for StockX.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't really go to any outlets or anything like that, and buy anything like that, because I just
I've got Tanger outlets here. That's a kind of a large outlet, and they've actually got quite a few across the country. But I've never sourced there. I want to, but they've got. See, there's a Nike outlet, Converse, Levi's. There used to be a Lacoste there, but they're closed down now. But I mean, there's just all kinds of the big name outlets there, and I mean, a good place to source, stuff like that. But just haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm. All right. So does anybody in the chat have any questions for Paul?
Well, I'm on the spot now. Why can't they ask you guys questions?
You can ask us questions too. But you're the special guest, so they might want to pick your brain a little bit. Give you guys a minute or so. Nate, anything you want to say?
Not much really. I mean, tomorrow on my channel, I doubt I'll be able to edit that stuff because I have to ship out an order. I've just been real busy, guys. I haven't even looked at that video footage from yesterday or from Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Do I use BrickSeek? I have a love-hate relationship with BrickSeek. I used it in the beginning for a little bit, but then I've gone away from it. I have never in the last. I just canceled my BrickSeek thing. Subscription. I just canceled it. In the last 4 months, I've not found a single thing off of BrickSeek at all, ever.
Really?
Yeah, it's just been, non-existent. However, I've used it to say, okay, I'm going to go look for an item, and then found a bunch of other stuff. That's what happened last weekend for me. I was looking for something else and found a bunch of other stuff. But I've dropped BrickSeek down. Now I do the free one. I used to pay the top one. Then I went down to the middle of the road one, and now just last week I canceled it altogether. So I'll use the free one and still try to use it, but I just have problems here in my area. I very rarely ever found anything using, what they said was there. Usually I found stock inventory wrong, or it was just a completely different price. However, I will say that the online BrickSeek, where it shows you the online deals, I've found that to be very helpful, but just as an in-store one, I have not found it to be useful.
I've killed it with both, online for sure and in store too. Like, for example, me and Anthony went and grabbed something. I told Anthony, I says, I'm gonna go get this one item. They're $9 a piece. Mm-hmm. And they said 6+ in stock, which was a rarity, because usually when you see that, it's usually like 2 or 3 or whatever. And that's usually where you usually get not anything in stock or whatever, because their inventory is so wonky, especially Walmart. But I got 14 of one item, so I got to hook up Anthony a couple. Mm-hmm. And on Sunday I was at work and I'm looking at different stuff because I was on break, and there was one item that I was hoping I found when me and Anthony were out the other day, but there was none in stock. Then I looked and there was one in stock, or no, it didn't say how many, but they said that this item was on stock. It was $27 and it's going on Amazon for $113. So I took the trip and they had one in stock, which even one in stock made my trip. And then I found the other stuff that I sourced with Anthony too. So it was a really,
it's like what Kent Daigle just says there with BrickSeek. You got to be able to run. If you see it, you got to be able to like drop and go to get it. But I'm not in a situation where I can do that.
Yeah. Like, I got lucky. Like, I felt like I got really lucky because the item I was looking for was in the clearance aisle, and with all the other clearance stuff, and there was just one left. I was like, I was hoping I'd find like 6 or 7, like I did the other items, but it was just one. But still, like I said, like I got like 5 of the other items, and just one of that made the trip worth, the 20-minute drive or whatever. because
Yeah.
like I saw it at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was itching to just run out of work and go get it. But
Right.
I was like, there's no way I can, go on lunch and come back. It's a 20-minute drive one way, and I'll only have a 3-minute break.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I says, I'll just cut out just a little bit early. So I left at like 2, which I just stayed at probably like 2:30. But I was there at 4 in the morning, so it wasn't a huge deal because I got way over my 8 hours. But I was thrilled when I seen the one. So I need to hurry up and get that sent out. That's part of the reason why I'm just packing, because I want to get Amazon really romping and rolling. Yeah, the online version of the deals has been killer. I think a lot of people kind of fell off with Brickseek because it was kind of wonky. Because I've been finding stuff more than lately than I was before. Before it was terrible. Like I'd go look for something, it would say they had 20 in stock, and sometimes Walmart would just pull it and hide in the back. And that's why I told Anthony about the one item we're looking for. I was like, watch this not be here. And I'll come back here about 2 months later. It'll be $11.
Right. And that's
it'll be a display of it.
Yeah.
That's what I found too. It'll say, like 6+ in stock, and you go, and they're like, there was one, I think it was last year, they were selling the TI 84s or something like that. And they were like $30 or something like that.
Yeah.
And every Walmart around here showed 6+ in stock. I didn't find a single one, not a single one. So
yeah, I had the same thing happen, and then I randomly stumbled upon one. I can't remember which Walmart it was, but it was like $30 or $25, and I think I ended up getting like 125 for it. So that was probably one of my best flips on Amazon. Probably, ROI wise, the whole 9 yards is chunk profit like that. It was a pink one too. So I don't know if it helped me or made it worse, but it sold right as soon as it hit the warehouse and they opened it up. It sold. It was gone.
Right.
I love when that happens.
Right. It's like Christmas morning when I see all that.
Yep. That's for sure. So Paul, how long have you been reselling for?
I started with baseball cards years and years ago when I was a kid, and I've always sold baseball cards. And anybody remember Pogs and Slammer?
Yeah,
I did those two, for a long time too. But so, I mean, I've always kind of done it, but I've only really been focused on it for the last 4 years.
Okay.
I've done, I did eBay early on when it was, profitable to sell sports cards on eBay, but then, eBay, the double-edged sword that it is, made it available, a lot easier to sell stuff. And then it also too tanked a lot of prices on sports cards and collectibles and things like that.
Yeah.
I am from Central North Carolina, right in the middle. Closest big city to me is a town called Greensboro.
I've heard of Greensboro.
Yeah. It's where they usually play the ACC tournaments every year.
Okay.
Every year, but most year I think it's here this year or next year. So that's kind of what we're most kind of famous for. And if anybody is a wrestling fan like you, Anthony,
Oh yeah.
if anybody remembers the ladder or the scaffold match where Jim Cornette fell off and broke both of his legs, that was in Greensboro's Coliseum.
Nice. It's awesome.
it's crazy. They just opened up a part of my shipment I sent in Monday, and one item sold out of it. And they just checked it in. It's not even showing they received it yet. Like in my total of like checked in items and sold. I love it.
Pay no attention to the half-dressed boy in the background. Yeah, Old School Pickers said the old sports cards are making a comeback. They are. A lot of the newer stuff is coming up. So
Yeah, I was just talking to Anthony about it. I was like, man, I just want to, like, I used to collect back in the day and everything, but I don't want to buy something that's not going to be sought after. Like, what brands are people buying that are worth buying? Like, what sets? Is it the ones with the jersey inserts and stuff like that? That's what I would think. But
right, I still kind of focus on some of the older stuff. I don't. I think I think Rev. I think he goes and buys the boxes, the current ones, and picture those and sell them. I still look for I'm kind of partial to the years that everybody says are worthless. I still can find, I guess I just have a knack, maybe because that's when I got into it. So I know how to find the ones in those years that people say are worthless. There are still quite a few cards in that years that are still worth a good amount of money.
Well, I have a whole lot of cards in those years if you want to come down and take them from me when you come to the meetup.
Right. But I still kind of focus on some of that older stuff. So Rev would probably be a lot better for that stuff. And then I think Pat Dees is getting back into doing some. I saw some stuff on his channel that he was doing some sports card stuff. I hadn't really watched the video yet, but I saw that a lot of the thumbnails were about sports cards. So maybe he's getting into it more.
Yeah, Pat loves sports cards and stuff like that.
Bluegrass Picker does the cards too.
Yeah.
I see Cajun resellers talking about nothing in Winston-Salem. No, that's because of my wife. That's where she sources at. She loves all of the thrift stores there, the bins. I mean, that's her kind of honey hole. That's where she likes to go.
Yeah.
So that's where kind of we've got a bins here up in Greensboro, close to me, but they're nothing compared to the ones at Winston. Winston's, they've got probably, I think it's 8 rows of bins, whereas the one in Greensboro has like 2. So
nice.
But the Winston-Salem thrifts are there, or where it's at around here.
So I want to say hi to a few people that have come into the chat that we just haven't had a chance to say what's up to yet. The Texas Picker, what's going on, my man? Glad that you were able to join us this morning. Bill Stoner, what's going on to the OG? West Max Gary, the man, the myth, the legend.
It's like I got these from Derek the other day. I mean these are in that time frame where everybody says, "Oh, they ain't worth any money," but these are some, like there's a Thurman Thomas rookie card right there. That's quite a bit of money right there.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Tatum. I mean, this is George Blanda. These are cards that I got from Derek just the other day. So I mean, and there's Robin Yount. So there's still those cards out there that are still worth some money. Like I said, just bought these from Derek last week, and I got them yesterday. So
nice.
And then I still have this whole stack to go through. I haven't even gone through this deck yet. So.
Yeah, I love trading and playing cards, man. I even play Magic the Gathering too, and wish I never sold my collection because it made a heck of a return lately.
Yeah, dude, you'd probably make good money off those Magic cards.
Dude, like the Power 10 are just insane money right now. Like
my little town has a Magic shop. Like that whole shop is dedicated to all those types of card games. I went in there, I don't know, about a year or so ago, and that whole shop is, Magic, Pokemon. What's the other one? Dungeons and Dragons, all those type of card games. That's all. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Ohs. That's all they do in that shop.
It's awesome.
Dude, I remember just going there playing and trading and doing different stuff, and
yep,
there's always one guy that would always try to get over on people or whatever, and I would get the best of all trades because he would want so much more for certain stuff that it would help me make deals because I would be a little more
reasonable.
Yeah, I'd be more reasonable, but still, get the better end of the deal.
Morning, Danny May. Good to see you.
What's up, Danny May?
Gonna have the ECOM mom on your turf this summer, Paul.
Yeah, it should be. That's about 10, 15 minutes east of me. A reseller, I'm actually just south. I'm not actually in Greensboro. I'm a little bit more south than that.
What's up, Danny May?
Yeah, resellers from here too. He's about, I think, an hour and 30 minutes from me. He's in Raleigh area, Chapel Hill area. we've been talking for a year in live chats about meeting up. We just never have.
Yeah, get her done, man. It's always nice to have somebody local that you can source with and stuff.
I want to source Bill Stoner's Duff Pile.
Yeah, me too.
I've heard of the
a lot of
infamous
people
Bill
do.
Stoner's death pile, but I've never seen it.
It's more of the cash cow pile. Oh, I wouldn't say death pile. It's more of just amazing goodies in that pile he has. We're doing a live together, and I just kept looking at his background, trying to see what great stuff he had back there. To the part where I was zoned out just because I was all the way looking and everything.
So, Paul, do you have any updates or anything that you plan to be doing on your YouTube channel?
I mean, I'm going to get back to doing the flea market videos when the weather turns. I'll get back out there. I am currently in the process of making a how-to, or not really a how-to, more of a here's my experience on buying and selling sports cards and things like that. I'm about halfway through it. I'm trying to get into kind of like, I don't want to get off into the weeds of like down to like, very particular things, but just kind of general ideas. But I'm about halfway through it right now. So that's one I'm kind of working on, that kind of introduction into buying and selling sports cards. So I'm not sure when I'll be able to get that one done, but I'll be doing that'll come out soon, I hope.
Gail's got some cards for sale if anybody's interested. What's up, Crystal? Rosie's Closet's in the house. Reseller Man wants to know what flea market you're selling at, Paul. Gail's got some cards for sale if anybody's interested.
That it would be the 311 flea market in Sofia.
Do you go
Check
weekly?
out any one of my channels. All the flea market videos I have the address in the thumbnail, not in the thumbnail, but early in the introduction. I usually put a map in the address. Does it say, come on out, hang out with me for a little bit. We could people watch together.
Dude, I totally would if I was going to be in the area too. Maybe when you come down, if you're here for the Rogers, you can come people watch at the flea market with us. Well, I think we're going to get ready to close it down for the day, guys. I definitely appreciate everyone's support and everybody who came out to show some love for Paul. Paul, you've been an awesome guest, man. You're always welcome on the show when you get a day off. Just feel free to, reach out to me or Nate, and we'll make it happen again. But again, guys, thank you so much for the support. We'll see you again tomorrow morning on Nate's channel at 10 a.m.
Peace, everyone.
See you guys.
Everybody.